What's going on, y'all? My name's Joltage, and today, bringing you the Week 3 recap show of LCPL. And within the show, we're also going to look at the mid-season auction, which took place during this week that just passed. Next week will be Week 4, but yeah. Anyway, let's hop right into it, taking a look at last week's matchups. Alright, in our first game, we had the Rema Raiders pick up their first win of the season over Los Mambos with, in a solid victory for them. We had, it started off with TCR continuing his dominant BW performances with a solid victory over Tarn. Blarjan then knotted up the series, taking down gym leader Cased, who brought Mono Ice, which is why I'm calling him that, obviously. Hace took down V, but V did kill one of his Pokemon, so who's the real winner here? I mean, it's still Hace, but yeah. Anyway, and then Steve Angelo was able to knot up to secure at least the tie for the Rema Raiders by taking down 30k God Confide with some water spam. Unfortunately for the Rema Raiders, Ponyta proved too difficult to take down an anti-loss to Rumor, giving the Los Mambos hope at rescuing the week. But CBB proves why he's one of the greatest to ever play this game, and secured the victory in a quite good Tangma game. But yeah. On to our next game, we had the Squirtle squad versus the Munas. The Munas picked up a victory here, and it started off with ZF getting first blood in the week over Cheek Pouse in a Hail v Sand matchup where Drilber was able to pull through in the Hail. Taz was subbed in for Call of Lochi, who seems to be having some real issues on this team, from an outsider perspective at least. But anyway, Taz was subbed in and was able to take down SPL LC or Star Master, and then, but in a pretty massive upset following that, Infamy was able to take out Zorodark, another SPL LCer. I was really surprised about that one. Levy was able to take down Nineage in a battle of the managers, as Nineage is now the manager of the Squirtle squad since OP quit. I mean OP. I don't know why I call him OP. I just do sometimes. Making the count at 3-1 in favor of the Munas, and then IFM was able to seal the week with his victory over Spark Train. Soldier was able to pull one back over over Shrug, who is struggling this season, but it was all for naught in the end there, as the Munas were able to pick up a victory. I believe that was their first win of the season. We'll check that when we get to the standings later on. Anyway, on to our next game. We had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus the Naughty Noibats. Kushalos continued his impressive performance this season. It was able to take out our resident 12-year-old Brazilian Guau. Following that, Apget was able to make it 2-0 by taking out Sken. And then Fitzy made it 3-0 by beating Atomic Llamas in a pretty solid BW game. Kumio started the comeback here, taking down Boo 836 in another solid DPP game. Boo's been in 2 of those this season. Unfortunately, has come up on the wrong end of them both times, but it'd be nice to see him win. Following that, Fooly took down Aladdin to improve to 3-0 on the season, I believe. Not really sure. I don't have like individual player stats, but I believe he's 3-0. And then Maja Spick got unlucky for once and couldn't seal the win for his team, losing to GGGGD. As Team NT was able to come back from 3-0 down to tie it up. And yeah, I'm sure they are happy with that result given the way the beginning of the week started. Anyway, and on to our final game of week 3. We had the Morningwood Timbers lose 5-1 to the Snivy Subterfuge. It's the pretty ridiculous scoreline, actually. And by ridiculous, I mean it's like, yeah, it's the first one that hasn't been decided by one game. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, this series started off with actually the Morningwood Timbers getting their only win of the series, as Fran was able to show his DPP chops and take down Av's daddy, who subsequently requested to be put back in Tangma. That's fine. But from there, it was all Snivy subterfuges. Merritt took down the Avalanches in the Tangma game with the help of some crucial roles. Sweeps Zigzagoon got burned by Flamethrower, and so he lost to Tricking. Arrow was able to take down Vubon, bringing a Trapinch for some reason. I don't know. Trapinch has really high usage this LCPL. It's weirding me out, man. And then Madoka brought Scarf Diglett and sealed the week for the Snivies with her win over Alex Kazumi. And to close it out, Celeste Davian. They're actually the same thing. I'm sure he did that on purpose, actually. Anyway, Hawkstar subbed himself in for 2-0, but was unable to take down Razari, one of those. And the Snivies picked up a very strong win. So let's take a look at the standings. We've got on top the Snivy Subterfuge at 2-0-1. That's 2 wins, 0 losses, 1 tie, sitting on 5 points with a +6 differential. I realized while making this that I fucked up all the differentials on previous weeks. But yeah, they're all fixed now. Next up, we've got a 3-way tie for second with the Munas, Remorators, and TMNT all on the same record of 1 win, no losses, 2 ties, sitting on 4 points at +2 differential. Next up, we have the Timbers sitting on 3 points with a win, a loss, and a draw. They're at -2 differential after that pretty big loss this week. Then we've got Neubats at 0 wins, 1 loss, 2 ties, 2 points, -2 differential. Then we've got tied for last place the Mambos and the Squirtle Squad, both at no wins, 2 losses, 1 tie, 1 point, and -4 differential. Now this is normally where we would look at next week's matchups, but at the next week's matchups, which will be week 4, but week 4 hasn't happened yet, so I don't know those matchups. So instead, I'm going to show you the results of the mid-season auction. First, let's look at the sellbacks. The Morningwood Timbers sold back Glass Glaceon, who I assume was just inactive. I assume all of these people were just inactive. And so I'm not really going to say anything on most of them. Quote, signed up and then just decided immediately he wanted to quit LCPL, so he was sold back mid-season by Mackles, TMNT. And then, as I've already talked about, OP quit Pokemon and so was sold back, even though he was previously the manager of the Squirtle Squad. But yeah, these are the people who were sold back. Now let's look at who got picked up. For the Naughty Neubats, they picked up former tier leader Rowan for 4.5k and SPL LCer for the Raiders, Kingler Numbers, for another 4.5k. And if that wasn't enough, he picked up Oma, formerly known as Omastar42, for 3k. For those of you who don't know, Oma went 8-1 last LCPL, though he was playing LCUU, but has since kind of fallen off the face of the earth. It was nice to see his sign-up post in the mid-season sign-ups thing. But yeah, 3 really solid signings for the Neubats, and I looked for them to improve as the season goes on, meaning their team's performances. Next up, we've got Los Mambos, who picked up both Antemortem and P2 for 3k. Yeah, not really much to say about them. I don't really know either of these players in terms of LC in general or anything. Yeah. The Morningwood Timbers picked up Tomahawk for 3K and Crystallites for 4.5K. Tomahawk, I believe, is going to step into the DPP role for the Timbers, and I assume Crystallites is going to play some ORAS. I don't know for sure. Looking over at TMNT, the pickups were Artemisa, Ice-T, and RZL, all for 3K. Ice-T played in SPL, played UU in SPL, and brought Monotype, Mono Fighting to be exact, and got bullshitted out of a win, I believe, against Fuga, if I remember correctly. So if he plays, I expect him to bring Monotype, just because that seems to be his thing in these team tours. But we'll see. These are all just like solid players, nothing really crazy. The Squirtle squad picked up Splashy Ship for 4.5K and AM, an OU council member, I believe. He is one of those, and yeah, I believe these are just solid players. I think everyone who got picked up in this midseason is probably just a solid player. I don't have explicit knowledge on a lot of these guys, but yeah. The Remorators, my team, as a reminder, I know I haven't been playing, but I mean, I'm still on the team, picked up the UU tier leader, Sam, for 4K. We only had 4K, so we couldn't get more than one person, so might as well spend it all on Sam. So yeah, that's cool. Interesting note, Sam managed the SPL's Raiders, so yeah, just moving from Raiders to Raiders, I guess. And then finally, the Snivy Subterfuge, managed by Jack, picked up Passion after everybody else was done with everything. And yeah, but that's going to do it for the show today. If you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like, comment with any feedback you have, and stay subscribed for more competitive LC content. Hopefully, I'm going to try and actually do some stuff, but you never know, I guess. Anyway, guys, my name's Joltage, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.